Dude, did I tell you that my worst injury in Afghanistan was I got hit by a porta potty?
No. Wait.
No, fuck no. I don't
I'm
trust you with
confused.
that. I'll tell you that another day.
Why can't you tell me now?
Because I don't trust you. I don't know what you recorded.
I'm recording that for sure.
No, fuck no. That's a story for another day.
That's funny. You got hit by a porta potty. Come on.
It's so funny, too.
What an intro.
I
It's
know.
like, you literally ate shit.
It was delicious.
Well,
So let me know when we're getting started.
we are started.
Okay.
You guys
Okay.
want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, you can go start first.
Okay, hold on. My eyes.
It's just a podcast, don't cry.
I know, right? Well, hi, my name is Andres Torres. I am a Marine veteran, 20 years. I am currently a cyber network operator, so I control mission element that goes around the country to different military units to help the kind of understand what risks associated with cybersecurity and how to better train them. In the civilian sector, I am the director of vulnerability management for Toyota. And so what that means is I help Toyota kind of understand what risks are associated to manufacturing, but in the overall business sense.
Cool. I'm Raymond Rodriguez, or Ray Rodriguez. I'm a 12-year Army veteran. I am the gym's veteran coordinator, and currently I work for the VA as a budget analyst.
Wow. So,
We're smarter than we look.
yeah, actually.
Yeah.
No. I'm not that smart.
So, basically, the vet program.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it.
Sure, I can start off. So we started this program in 2019. I believe in January. It's when the old director of the facility, Lisa Howard, and Tammy came together and had an idea to get employees that were veterans, either from the hospital, UNR, or the court systems, to kind of get them out their comfort zone and to be part of something bigger. When a lot of us get out the service, we're still looking for that adrenaline rush. And so it was a program that gave veterans the opportunity to kind of learn something different. I have been part of this. I was supposed to start in January of 2019, but I had knee surgery, so I started the very next group, which would have been in, I believe it was like the summertime of 2019. And then I've been a part of that program ever since. Kind of give your background when you joined.
So I first heard of the veterans program. Somebody had sent me a flyer on Facebook.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We have flyers for that?
Well, I make like a kind of like a PDF.
it was 100%
To
like
fill out.
the most I can't even say the word. It was literally a picture, and it was like, fill this out.
It
So
was
I'm
a
like,
clip art.
yeah, it literally was like he took a picture of a document and was like, fill this out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was old school where you were supposed to print it out and do it, but Mr. Tech Guy wants to,
I'm
oh,
over here.
PDF and I want to fill it in.
Yeah, so I literally opened it in Adobe Pro and made editable fields.
Which on my end, they already
Wait,
had
is
editable
that-
fields.
Is that why I remember some people's forms came in not handwritten?
Right. Because they were just doing it on, well, everyone wants to do stuff on their phone. God forbid they do it on a computer. So,
Man, it's fine. Anyways,
Sorry, I'm just turning on Do Not Disturb. So actually, when I first heard of the veterans program, it was like a pretty much a incredibly important time for me because I really wanted to get into like fitness. I was really worried about my health. I was drinking pretty heavily. I was in a very good place in my life, and I was trying to dig into like, how do I start like lifting? Because in the Marines I had learned, like basic running and just like kind of some of the basic exercises, but I was missing critical like instruction on how to actually like be able to pick up this weight safely. And so I had told a few people like, hey, I'm looking for a gym. I heard about the veterans program, and I was real hesitant to apply because I kind of felt the opposite of entitlement. I felt more like this program should be for people who actually need it. Like, I don't know if you remember.
I remember. So you were nervous because it was Tammy and I. We were sitting over there and we were interviewing him, and the whole entire time we'd ask you a question and you would answer the question that you wanted to be part of this team, but you were like, well, if someone else needs it, and it's like, no, you passed the application process to get an interview, but you were doing right. You were trying to help another veteran in need that may have been short on money or whatever, but we had so many people apply that you were a shoe-in just by the way the attitude that you came in. But yeah, you were discrediting yourself the whole entire time, and even after you left, we were kind of like, yeah, we want him, but he has to want it too.
Yeah.
And I remember pulling you aside after and being like, look, it's okay that you're not, a disabled veteran or whatever. You're still here. You applied. You want to, you want to take this serious, because in the past we haven't had that. We have people that they come in and they're like, yeah, I want to do it. And then even Brandon might know this, after a couple, maybe first 2-3 weeks, and we don't see them again.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
The first 2 or 3 weeks is usually when everyone starts to kind of drop off, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, for me, it's not that I didn't want to be a part of the program. It was more like I wasn't doing real well in life in general. At that time, I was kind of low. But I also felt that I could have done it on my own. But I felt that this would have been a good place for me. I kind of discredit myself because I'm like, look, there's people who can't afford these things. There's people who could really benefit from this. If there's an extra slot, I would love to be a part of it, but I don't want to take somebody else's place, right?
You're coming from a good place.
Yeah.
We know that, and I still appreciate you doing that. But look at you now.
It's true. I've gotten bigger. Well, in the wrong places.
Well, I mean, that is one of the most important pieces of the program, I think, is people join this because they need it, or they're not in the best spot, or they're looking for a community to help build up again. So I don't think you did, just because you were saying you think somebody else deserved it. It sounds like you deserved it too.
You did.
It did. Honestly, it's just like I wasn't doing well financially. Like I was coming off divorce, and just like I wasn't in a good place. And so I really, and I was also like finding out in my life that like I was not doing well health wise. So that's what started propelling me to want to better myself. And so I started seeking out training and stuff like that. When somebody passed me, I think it was my sister who saw it on Facebook. And so we filled it out and everything. And I kind of emailed him too. I was like, hey, what's going on with this? It's been like a month.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to understand. I'm like, hey, I really want to learn powerlifting. I'd love to be strong and know how to do this safely. Because the last thing I do is want to ego lift something crazy. I want to actually build up appropriately. So yeah, I'm very thankful that they saw that hey, you know what? It's okay. You are the perfect candidate for this program.
Yeah.
So.
You were very hungry when you were answering the questions too. Even though you were trying to pass off the slot to somebody else, you can see that you wanted it. And that's why we were like, okay, cool. And out of all the 12 or 13 people that we did interview that time, you were the only one that stuck in my head, where I went and talked to you after this was done and was like, hey man, you're good. You're going to be part of this, because you wanted to better yourself, right? Yeah. And a quick story about myself, I got hit with an IED in Afghanistan, and I was hunched over. And the doctor said, you're never going to stand up straight again. And I was like, all right, cool. So I decided to do yoga and stuff on my own. And I remember getting myself fixed enough where I ended up going to where that doctor was in that military base, and a little knock on the door. And I was like, hey, remember me? You said that I wasn't be able to stand up again or do anything active. Here I am. Right. And so with this program, I had knee surgery. I had the doctor go, hey, you're going to have to take it easy. You're not going to be able to be as strong or even get back to where you were physically ever again. And then I came across this program, and, since 2019, we're talking, now almost 6 years later, and I'm probably in the best shape of my life, and I'm almost 40. So, it's just how much work do we want to put into overcoming, shortcomings or someone telling us that we can't do something physically, and then stepping up to the plate, taking, being disciplined about it, and then making it happen. And this gym gave me the opportunity to do that and get out of my comfort zone and learn how to lift right, especially with coaches like Brandon. And then, back when this program started, we had Jackie, and she was a phenomenal coach too. So, it's you took what the program gave and you're running with it. And that's what the whole purpose of this is. And this is why we try to recruit veterans, where do you want a purpose? Do you want to get better? How about you join us, get a good coach, and that coach is going to teach you how to, lift with bad knees or lift with a bad back. That's stuff that we won't know if, like you said, we talked earlier before this podcast about you going running at one of those commercial gyms. Say you had an injury. How would you have known to adjust your workout to that? That's what they're here for.
100%. No, I mean, that's probably the most valuable component for me was I could easily go to a gym. That's not a problem. I had tried most of the local gyms, and it's just, but the problem is I had kind of like, these are the generic exercises I did in the Marines, and that's great, but it wasn't kind of like, it wasn't really strength training. It was mainly for like
Stamina.
it's stamina, endurance, right? And so, like I said, it kind of became a godsend for me to be like find out, get started, because like I haven't really been hurt, and I've been able to do a lot more weight than I ever imagined.
Right.
So I am very thankful for that.
I think that's like one of the best parts is at the end of the program is everyone competes.
Yeah.
So you actually see like
For sure.
actual progress that you've made.
So remembering my first competition, what was it, like a year and a half ago? Like it was like, wow, like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this. But even then, it's like when I took myself out of the equation and I came back kind of as this, well, what do we call it?
Where are you right now?
Yeah, what do we call it?
Like a mentor.
A mentor, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So like not kind of more as a mentor is we see the new veterans come in and they're like so apprehensive of like lifting or to compete, but we kind of like, we've done it so many times. And I was like, look, it's okay. As long as you're out there, you're the man in the arena or the woman in the arena. It doesn't matter if you're not competing with anybody else but yourself. And it really like you can see a lot of like how their demeanor changes, right? So to me, that's probably one of the most powerful components is like we've taken a 16-week iteration, built you from the primordial into something that like you could actually lift on your own now if you wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest benefits of the program.
I think it's always cool seeing that though, like everyone's first competition and how nervous everybody gets.
Oh my God, they're so in their heads.
Right.
And but I mean, I can empathize completely. I was just like that. It was just like, oh my God.
But you bring, and especially Brandon's been doing this now for over 3 years with us, you bring because him and I already have personalities, you know, and it's like you bring another level of funniness to the team too that makes everything that we do lighthearted, and that's why we keep you around as a mentor. And
That's the only reason.
I'm just
That's
the
the only
help.
reason.
I'm
And-
just the help.
You're just the jester.
Yeah, and honestly,
monkey, dance.
the whole point of the mentors too, and then even with me is to help him out, because if we've had huge teams where he was the only coach, and it's like if he's not there, say he has something to take care of, then it's on us to kind of get the ball rolling. And that's why sometimes like if he's like out and they're training other people in other countries and stuff, and I have something going on, I'm like, hey, can you cover down for me? And it's just to keep the ball rolling, because in the end of the day, it's not about us, it's about them competing, you know. And like, and even you now, you gave so much more back to the gym with helping out and everything you did, you know, IT related for the success of Legions and stuff. And that was you helping out at a level that I didn't even know that you were going to help out at. Because in my mind,
It wasn't going to be like
I was
that.
like, because we talked, I was like, is Andre still competing? And, you know, I know he's been busy with work, and he was like, no, he's doing all that stuff. And then for me, I was like, good, like that, you're still helping out at another level, and you're still giving back your time to this gym. And so, you know, that's what this program's about. Let us, you know, they're helping us, let's help them back, you know. And like I said, man, like from where you started, even when we're talking about you being nervous to you now, your numbers have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
From
I'm
what you
actually
started
curious.
at.
Do you remember what you started at?
So I feel that I pretty much started like, for sure, bench was at one plate, so 135, maybe 150.
And you put on what, like
I'm like a-
230, 27?
I'm at
it's on
well, so
265.
right now I'm way off my numbers because I've been concentrating on like more of the cardio. But
What was your best? Let's just do that.
275 for bench. For squats it's like 450.
Yeah, that was huge.
That's huge. I mean, I think I squatted like 2 plates.
Your deadlift was your biggest, I think, increase.
Well, no, actually a squat.
Was your squat?
Deadlift has actually been my worst. It's just because for some reason it's just I can't get it
Your
right.
grip, and you keep trying to lift your foot.
Yeah. Oh, I keep messing that up, and I think that's at 405.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like what I really like about it is, let's go back to why the program, I feel, from my personal take, why it's been successful. Because you remove barriers to entry. And let me give you an example. Could I have learned how to deadlift from YouTube? Yes. Could I have gotten a trainer? Yes. But I wasn't invested. And what I mean by that is the gym and the foundation that supports us and all of the benefactors, they've invested in me and everybody else here. To me, that was a personal, like, I couldn't let them down.
Right.
because it's training is incredibly expensive, and also like like equipment and just a location to be able to work at, right? And so when I knew that I had to be there from 5:30 to 6:30 or what have you, whatever the schedule was, I moved my life around to make sure I would make it, because it was when like I had gym membership that was my personal money, but it was just like it was my money.
Right.
The moment somebody invested in me, it changed my mindset completely.
Yeah, I get it.
And then another thing, it's like when people depend on you, right? It's just like kind of going back to the military. It's like being a mentor. I take personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Ownership over ensuring that they don't get hurt, right? And so I'm constantly telling them like, hey, it's like stop, like that's too much weight. They like, especially in the beginning, they always try to go immediately.
Immediately putting on too much
Yeah.
weight.
And so we work constantly on form. But I think that to me, that's what made the program successful. To me was when somebody invested in it, I just felt like, there is no reason for me not to be able to do this. And it was hard. Like, cause like I had, like, it was just, I had my kids, so like who's going to watch my kids? So I literally like made it work. I moved, my mom was watching them, or my sister, or I paid for a babysitter.
Yeah.
But I made sure I was in the gym, because I'm like, if they're already investing this significant amount of money to be able to get me to a place where I can compete, I'm going to make it happen on my own.
Well, you held yourself accountable.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that moving forward with this program that we do run into is the accountability. And I think that, we'll have a conversation. We'll try to fix that. But it is about self-accountability.
Yeah.
You knew the obligation and what you signed up for, and you still made it happen. And then even if you're not going to be here at a certain time, him and I are only a text away. Hey, I'm going to come earlier because I got to watch my kids. Absolutely. Why? Because we know that you're actually going to come and work out. And plus, he's here anyway, and he'll see you. So, the biggest thing is, regardless of all your life throwing everything in your way, you still made that time to be here and do stuff. And that's the biggest win for you, because even if your numbers go up or go down, showing up is like the first part of everything, So like I said, you should be proud of yourself for what you're juggling in your fucking career, personal life, and being part of this team.
Thank you. Well, let's tie it back to some of these other people, right? Some of the other veterans in the program. And I'm really proud to see like how they've come. It's just like some of the girls that have joined the team, it's just like they've come from like they've never lifted before, and now they're like putting up
pretty
huge
crazy stuff,
numbers.
honestly.
And like I've told some of the girls, I'm like that's like one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. Like if you were to equate that to like any other person, just from where you started, you've made a monstrous advancements. And I've seen it also like their mindset shift, right? And so I feel that that's an incredibly important.
You can definitely see it. They come in with almost like a little bit of timidness.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the program, they have this massive amounts of confidence.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Getting cocky.
Yeah, we just laugh about it when they're at the podium. We're just sitting there like, oh my God, especially Kenya walking back and
Oh yeah.
Honestly though, love it.
Yeah, same.
She's so strong. She has a lot of potential.
Ridiculously strong.
Well, I'm glad that we kind of turned
Kaylee as well.
Yeah,
Kaylee as well.
We turned the recruiting thing too, because since 2019, I'm talking about dominant 90% men, right?
Yeah.
And it was to the point that during the pandemic, I remember having a conversation with Tammy, and I was like, we need to get more women involved. And then what we did is we had Izzy join and we had Kaylee join. So that was like our first concrete 2 women. And then Izzy did a great justice by this program by recruiting at her National Guard unit. And that's how we have so many now. And that's how we have so many good athletes that do want to be part of this. And we're hopefully we'll get more of them this next go round,
The last group had predominantly women.
Right, yeah. And that's how I think the last 2 we've been like that.
Yeah, last 2.
Been a handful of returning male veterans, and then a lot of these girls are now they're still in the service. They're in National Guard, so this isn't just for veterans. This is for actively, well, I guess not all of them are considered active, but if you're still serving or serving at some point, you can be part of this program.
I think that's the whole point.
Right.
American Iron Sports Foundation. I don't know if we really covered that, but it is covered.
Right.
We give our time to help everybody out. And so the only thing that we ask for in return is just accountability.
Show up.
And show
that's
up.
hard. Honestly, I feel you also have to be in the right place in your life. Like for me, Like, I'll give you an example. It took me years to finally go back to school and get my bachelor's because it was just like, even though it wasn't even my money or it was my, like, whatever, it wasn't until I was ready. I'm like, you know what? I need to go back and do this. I felt this program came at the right place and the right time in my life where I was like, I need to change something. I can't be like this. So
Yeah,
I think that might be another component for us because it's like
for sure.
we've had a lot of successes in the veterans program, but we've also had a lot of like attrition, right?
Right,
You've mentioned
yeah.
that. It's just like people show up for like a month and a half, and then it's
nothing.
excuses and after excuses, and it's like I look at it from my perspective. I'm like, well, I could probably hold more accountability myself, but I'm doing a million things, so I kind of tell them, you know what, if you want to be here, like we've harped on it during recruiting,
Right.
if you're not going to be here, please don't.
Saturday mornings is the worst turnout for this program since since 2019. And listen, I don't care what you do on a Friday night. You go out, you want to go party. If you're working, that's a different story. But there's times I'm out with my friends midnight. I'm still here at 7 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because I made an obligation to be here and to be part of this gym and to be present for him and this team to help out.
Yeah.
And some people don't have that yet, and it could do with like the immaturity because we do have a lot of younger recruits, but I think the more we harp on them and the more they see that how consistent we are, maybe that will kind of rub off on them for them to kind of show the same dedication and discipline to be here the 3 days. We're only asking 3 hours of them a week.
Yeah.
And seems like a lot considering there's a lot of hours in the week that only 3. But
I think a critical component about what he just said is it kind of remove the one thing I really like about removing barriers. All right, this is going to be a hot take. I feel that there is a certain subset of veterans that feel incredibly entitled. They do, and so
I feel like I'm not allowed to like speak on this, but
Sure.
no.
I mean, it's true. I
yeah.
feel like it's true.
It's a hot take because they have an entitlement complex, and it's just like, thank you for serving your country, like seriously, but it's like it doesn't entitle you to everything. Like you got to work for it.
right.
And so, like, when you remove barriers to entry, it's just like, oh, what do you mean it's up to me now?
Yeah.
So it is a hot take, but my point is, I think people need to kind of like, from our perspective, like from leadership perspective, we have to hold them kind of a little bit more accountable, but they need to be more accountable themselves, right? And they need to kind of take this mindset of, thank you, you did this. Yes, fantastic. You'll always be great in my mind, but you need to go work for it yourself.
Right.
But I mean, that goes back to the idea that we've talked about before. It's like you don't pull rank in the program either.
Nope. Yeah, I'll squash that real quick. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care what you did in the service. You can be President of the United States of America. You are not the owner of this gym. You are not the heads of these programs. You are not the coach of this program. So if you're going to be part of this program, rank, pride, all that stuff's at the door. You're just a regular person. I understand that you serve this country. Congratulations. So did everybody else in this program besides our coach. So if you're going to be part of this, yeah, like he was saying, that entitlement, that has to stay in your car, and when you exit your car and you enter the gym, the doors of the gym, just now you're a regular person, part of a program. Listen to the coach. Let's get the workouts in. No drama. Have fun. Talk shit to each other.
Did you have that before I came about, the rank issue?
Well, we have.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
just. Well, you got to think we have young women that are part of the team, and for instance, she had to go do some training and stuff, but now we had one of their commanders. So you have these E4s, and now you have a O3 that's in charge of them, and so it's a little bit different now. Now she's never pulled rank, but while we're lifting and they're doing the whole ma'am stuff, and
I see what you're saying.
and they were guard, I was active duty, so it's a little bit different in my eyes. You being in the guard or reserve, when you're here at the gym, I think the minute your uniform comes off, I think kind of ranks out the window. But there's been issues in the past, even before Brandon was a coach. But that's here nor there. That's in the past, and those people are no longer part of this program. Nor did they show up, so it doesn't matter. So
Yeah, and I think so. This is something I wanted to touch on earlier, and I feel too that one of the kind of secondary effects of this program too is it kind of reminds me. It's just like, this is how I can give back as well, right? Because it's like, we're helping somebody else, especially within, like, for me, I had a hot take earlier with entitlement, but I also feel, I don't want to call it a longing, but it's kind of, it's a call to support my people, right?
For sure.
And it's just like, if I can help them in any way, I will. It doesn't like, and so I feel that being supportive to the veterans program as much as I can, I'll be there wherever they need it, because it's like, if I'm going to support anybody, it should be those who defended our country.
Well, I think it's not. We don't really talk about this, but it is like when you're part of the team, you're part of the team, and
Right.
so a lot of times we go above and beyond for people, even outside of like the training sessions and all
Right.
that. I've done it.
Yeah.
You guys have done it.
For sure.
I mean, we've done stuff that's like completely just
Yeah.
specifically just to help people that might be struggling or anything like that.
sure.
But it's very important that you give back
Yeah.
and that you care.
Yeah.
I may talk hella shit to you guys.
Oh yeah, but we
and
get
say
it,
the
though.
worst things.
But like the biggest thing, even for me with this program, like your left sleeve says, it says family right above it, right? The second that you got integrated into our program, you became a brother of ours, whether you served or not. Because one, you basically are the drill sergeant. But
I didn't get it.
of this program, right? So ultimately, no matter what anyone did for this country, you're still the coach, right? And that's the respect that you should be given. But like you said, on the other hand, there's so much support that you that we've done for other people on this team outside of this program, and spent many hours trying to make sure individuals were good, that individuals got to appointments. I work at the VA. I got individuals enrolled in college. I got people jobs, right? That's not stuff that we have to do, but we do it because we're helping out our community, right? And this gym has a great community of veterans that come here. And I think that hopefully someone will watch the YouTube video. They'll know that this program exists too, because there are so many grunt style shirts and other Air Force, Marine, you name it, in this gym, and a lot of these guys are just kind of off alone doing their own workouts, you know? If
see
we
it a
can
lot.
pull them in and be like, hey, brother, hey, sister, you know, you have a community of us here, and we've been doing this since 2019. If you want to be part of something bigger, you know, have at it. So I think that even recruiting for this team that we're going to start in January of 2025, maybe I put my flyer or whatever, maybe I'll have you make it and we'll put it up on the front somewhere that people can get in contact with us, and maybe we do shift the team around a little bit, because we have a lot of returning faces, and I would like to see new people that actually are going to take this serious come and be part of this team.
I mean, I see a lot of veterans around the gym, and I try to mention the program as much as possible. Just kind of get the word out.
Right.
I don't know if people ever really contact you, but
Nah.
I've given out the email.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like intimidated to be part of a team, and then like we kind of talked about too, sometimes the schedule doesn't fit in
Yeah.
everybody's.
Yeah, that's
That's
fair.
the toughest
and,
thing, is the schedule.
is this the schedule, and we can't change the program for one
Yeah.
person, especially if you're brand new, you've never been part of this team. I'm not gonna adjust hours, but you know, if you can give me 2 solid workouts a week while you're here, and it's not about working out, it's about the camaraderie. So if you're meeting the team and you're meeting these people, you know, there might be that vet that has, hey man, you know, I'm low on funds, I'm trying to get back to college. I don't know where to start, you know. Well, I work for the VA, I can help you out, you know. And then you can help people out. For you do so much stuff out in the community too. So, you know, we're here to help, and I'm hoping to get new faces on the team, and I want people to not be intimidated by the program.
No, there's a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah.
I mean, even me.
Yeah.
You guys have helped me when,
Yeah.
you know, I've gone through struggling times.
For sure.
And so I always like deeply appreciate you guys.
You've been my brother the second I met you, man. It was the Blake jokes. I was like, he's in. And so, yeah, because that's all we are, man. It's like we have good jobs and stuff like that, but we're human beings. We like to have fun. I like to smile. Him and I would give each other the most shit all the time. Why? Because it's love and it's fun, and we're here to break the ice. You talked earlier about people coming in being very timid and not to talk. You know, don't want to, like, unless they know the person, they'll chat with them. But I had people this last. One of these females, I'm not going to name drop in here, like she was very timid and didn't want to talk to anybody, and he was the first icebreaker, and was like, get over here, and you know, that's the best thing that we can do is just pull people in and get them out that they don't have to be scared of us.
Break out of that shell.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like I said earlier, you see the change.
Yeah.
By the time it's meet time.
Yeah, they're cocky as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be nervous.
They'll be
Yeah,
nervous,
for sure.
you know.
But there is like a massive personality change, which I like.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's true. Also, like I think the biggest thing for
just
me,
move your mic a little bit up.
I think the biggest thing for me was like they they finally have a place to kind of like ask for help and like be given direction. Because it's hard, honestly. It's very difficult to kind of like know where to start. I think is the biggest thing.
No, you're 100%
Yeah.
right. Because he can say, "Hey, Tuesdays is a back day," and they can come in here and start bench pressing, and it's like, no, that's not that's not what we're doing. Like, and so when guidance is coming from him, then it's like, okay, cool. And the good thing about especially military, whether you're serving now or you were prior, you have structure. You have that hierarchy or that chain of command where it's like, what time do I have to be there? What am I going to do? And that comes from you. I need you guys here. Well, I set the time. You're going to be here at 5:30, but guess what? Your workouts come from Brandon, and that's what you're going to do. Now, you're not going to go crazy on your very first day and lift weights that don't have a proper form. We're going to work on that first. But it's the same thing in the military. You go in the basic training, wherever background you came from, you could have been stockbroker, you could have been whatever, but for some reason, if you decided to join the military, you're no longer that. They were going to tear you down to the most simple level of human being, and then they're going to start building you back up to be that man or woman that you want to be. And so it's the same thing with this program. We start at the very bottom, and then at the end, we have cocky ass son of a bitches. So we're building them up from nothing, and and a lot of it comes from you, especially the last 3 years, man. You have shit. Everyone fucking competed or medaled last time. The last two, everyone has got some kind of medal.
I think everyone PR'd.
Yeah, and everyone PR'd.
A lot of people did really good. I mean,
yeah. Well, we also mess with their numbers when we don't tell them.
That's the best
fun.
part.
Yeah, I love that.
It's funny because like at the beginning, every single time I get in my head, I'm like, shit. Like this is
Here we go.
I'm nervous because I'm like, oh man, are they gonna pick it up? Are they gonna be able to like? Because a lot of times, I mean, this is just blatantly talking shit. But everyone's form usually sucks.
Oh, for sure.
At the very start,
100%.
Absolutely.
and so, but you see it like there's always like a pivot point, like usually like 6 weeks in,
Yeah.
where everyone just kind of like, oh, it clicks.
it.
Yeah. And there'll always be like the struggle lifts and everything, but there's usually always something that like clicks and everything kind of changes.
Right. And then we start putting the big numbers on them.
Yeah.
Because now they have the form.
That's hard to kind of get people to be like, relax.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything anywhere near that. Let's wait like a month and a half.
But
before-
you'll make a minor adjustment on someone. For instance, the chick that was having issues with her knees buckling, you made a minor adjustment and then you saw her form immediately. You're like, that's why you're the coach. I was like, yeah, damn. And then she's like, that was so easy. And I was like, yeah, it was. Now stay with that weight because then I want to go up. And it's like, nah, we're working on form now.
Yeah, that is like one of the biggest issues is the weight going up.
Yeah.
I look away for 1 second
It's
Yeah.
gone.
and
Yeah,
there's suddenly another plate on there.
And then you're like, and they're like, this doesn't feel good. I'm like, yeah, because you weren't ready for that yet. I used to do
always-
this before. Well, used to, and now it's different.
It's always going to come.
Yeah.
I mean, a good example of like progression is probably Jerry.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I think of any of the mentors, he's probably done the most. I feel. Would you
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah,
Gary?
well, he takes a lot of his time to not only help with the gym here and being part of the team, but he helps a lot of his lifters at UNR, whether they're veterans or not.
I agree.
And that's just a nice dude. That's like a guy that life is bigger than him, and he is going to be available for you, whether it, and we talked about the helping each other outside of the program. That's a guy where, it's like, wow, like your parents raised you right, man. Like that's a good dude.
He's helped a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, even when I was like having to handle some stuff
Right.
with like, we were helping each other out and everything, I called him to help me help others.
Right.
He was immediately.
Right.
He
Yep.
was the first one to come.
That's the type of people we want in this program. We want those that it's bigger than them.
I agree.
Love that dude.
Yeah, I mean, he came to Austin with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, that's phenomenal.
He worked. I mean, and still, like to this day, he still listens well.
Yeah.
Tries to help as much as possible.
He is the most coachable veteran that we have had.
I will agree with that.
Yeah. And then it goes beyond this program because once the membership is finished, because we owe you a certain obligation while you're doing this. The gym does cover you. He'll keep going. He does the meal prepping. He does not just a program. He does it to just be overall healthy too. And that's someone that's taking, he's grabbing it by the balls. He's not stopping. And since he's been part of this program, he's, like you said, he's been Austin. He wants to travel with the gym. He's doing so much stuff to go above and beyond here. And I love the time, especially when he's doing his own workout, he'll stop what he's doing to go spot somebody or whatever, even if they're not even part of the program. Someone's like, hey, Jerry, give me a spot. And, "Oh, okay. One of the nicest dudes, man.
Seeing the change from when he first started too.
Yeah. He was very, very quiet, like
And
a
then
little mouse.
he was also like very eager.
Right.
And then you could see it like once he started picking stuff up, he immediately tried to help everybody else out.
Right. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I appreciate. It makes my job easier.
For sure.
Well, I mean, when you have a larger group, you have to have assistants.
Yeah.
You have to. It can't just be one person for 40 people, or what was it, more like 6?
No, we had,
It was a 10 at the time?
when he started or this recent group?
When that time frame, it was probably like 10.
Yeah, probably like 10.
10 or 12. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 13 this last go round, I believe.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we did have a lot.
Yeah, we had a lot.
I just forgot because it was like we had a lot more women this time around.
Right. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to be that way again because now we have that commander, Alicia, and I'm going to reach out to her soon to be like, hey, what candidates do you have for me? Because even in the National Guard, they have to meet physical fitness standards, whether they go 1 week in a month or 2 weeks a year. So if she has anyone that she thinks is good, we'll sit down and talk with them. Why not? Fill them out, you know? My whole thing is give me your 3 hours a week. That's all I want from you. Because I don't, and yeah, I've told you this all the time, even on Saturdays, like when he's here, Jerry, myself, Garrett, and then I'm like, sorry, man, for wasting your time. Because, you know, if you don't have clients, you came out of, you know, your bed to be here for no one to train.
I mean, that's not
Yeah.
too big a deal.
I know, but
I'm
for
not-
me, being in the service, you know, everywhere we had to be, you had to be there 15 minutes prior, you know, and then there was no excuse. Oh, sorry, Sergeant, I'm late. Nah, you're not late in the Army because then they can do stuff to you physically or whatever, you know, whatever. But, you know, there's punishment. There's some kind of repercussion for not filling your obligation. So obviously this is not the military, but for me, I think we're kind of lenient. I think they can miss 8 practices or something like that.
It's
I think-
80-20.
Yeah, or something
Something
like
like
that.
that,
Because that 20% is flirted with a lot.
Well, I mean, what happened?
Yeah.
You guys are disciplined
Right.
in the military, and then
I say it's because they're not active duty, but that's just my My
there's-
take.
Honestly, there's no repercussions.
yeah.
is that what it is?
That's the truth. There's
Should I have them do push-ups or what?
Well,
what's the repercussions in?
honestly, so this is something that we've toyed with in the
Kick
vets
'em.
program. No, they need to have buy-in, and you have to show it. It's a hard problem, right? It's because going back to that entitlement mentality. We're not saying everybody is, quite the contrary. It's more like when you feel that you deserve something, that it doesn't feel like you had a cost associated with it, right? So that's something that we've kind of talked about.
Yeah,
It's
I
just like,
agree.
how do we, like, either you have this internal accountability yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to put up something to be able to, like, remind you, this is why I'm here and this is what I have to lose, right? And so I call it a hot take because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, you don't know everything. I'm like, you're right, I don't.
Right.
But I just feel that a lot of stuff should be internally accountable, but a lot of people aren't like that.
What do you mean you don't know everything? Because I mean, to be fair, everyone that's part of the group has different backstories.
Yeah, I don't know their story. I don't know what's
But
going
that
on.
doesn't mean that doesn't take away that they shouldn't have like accountability.
100%. I mean, sometimes for me, it's like Ray knows this. I feel that if there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to put in the hours, then to me, that just it means that you just actually care.
Yeah.
Right. So we've had that with several instances with people, and it's quite irritating because you invest in them, and it's not even money anymore. It's like you put in the time and effort, and like you actually care about where they're going to end up. Right. And so I feel that it's something we're struggling with, and we're still trying to figure out what's the best mechanism to kind of, because this isn't just a military specific thing. This is like a human thing. Like, how do you hold somebody accountable if it's like, we're trying to help them, and so we're removing a barrier so that there is no cost associated with it, right? So like, how do you have like a financial form and be like, hey, this is what you have to pay to be a part of it?
Yeah.
How do you gauge that? That's additional overhead.
What if you do a penalty?
Yeah.
Penalty fee.
Well, honestly, this is something I've considered myself.
Well, they
where
won't join.
They won't.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So it's balance, right? It's just like we want to, like, for me, because like at that point in my life, I had single digits in my bank account at one point.
Sick.
Yeah, it was not a great time, and those were personal. Like that was nothing externally. It's just I wasn't doing well mentally. So this program was a godsend, right? But other people, they might be in that situation, but they're not willing to take that accountability. How do you enforce that? But they still, like, you never know how, like, maybe it's a talking to, like, hey. So this, I guess this feedback is more internally to us as mentors.
Yeah.
Like how do we have these conversations with them and say, look, you should start turning your life around? Because we'll get a lot of veterans that, like, well, let me bring this into a larger context. I really don't like the visualization that, like, whenever you hear veterans, like I'd say in the greater community, it's like, oh, thank you for your service, great. But most of the time, I'll hear like a negative connotation. It'd be like, oh, they need help, they need help. It'd be like, there's a mix, right? Some dearly need help, others are doing really well for themselves, right? So, but you rarely see that broadcast because
Right.
veterans come from our internal, from all of our like come from our community, so there's going to be like a spectrum of them, right? And we mainly hear about like homeless veterans or people struggling with alcoholism or something like to that effect. How do we work with them and kind of help them, like, kind of get started on their path to be better? So I'm rambling a bit. So
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. I just think overall communication, we've talked about our Saturdays a lot. My biggest thing is life happens, right? Say you got called in for a shift of work. Everyone doesn't have a 9 to 5. Some of these younger veterans that are part of this program might have jobs where they're a server at some restaurant or they're a nurse somewhere, so their hours may not vibe with what we're working with. But it's 2024. A simple text, hey, I have to work tonight. I'm not going to make it. I don't even get that. And I think you get that sometimes, but there's a lot of times where we're literally sitting here. I got out of work at 3:30. I'm here at the gym most of the time to 7 o'clock, and then I'm driving 45 minutes to Fernley waiting on a team to show up. And then it's like, yeah, we get the few people that go, hey Ray, something happened, and I'm like, okay, cool. They're at least communicating with me that they're not going to be here. What about you other four? What happened?
And that's really all it takes.
Yeah,
Just
that's
that
it. Let me
quick-
know.
or just continue to work on your own, like how you're going to get there. Because I travel extensively,
Right.
and I try to fit it in where I can. Right? If you gotta want it, though, right? So
I guess that boils down to like just wanting it.
you gotta want
I
it.
mean, that's like the same thing with like
Right.
partly with like the mental health struggles,
For sure.
Oh,
stuff like
100%.
that. And it's like you gotta want it.
Right. But there's help though too. Like I said, I work in the mental health department. I am a resource guy. If someone needs help, I'm here to, and I've done it in the past with other people on our team. And then Tony Frazier, our court system guy, we're here to help veterans that do have those problems, get them the help they need. And like even me being part of this program, oh my God, I get so much rage out from work or my personal life. This is good for me. I come here, I lift some weights, and now I get to go home and spend time with my kids, and I'm good, But some people, substance abuse or whatever else might be preventing them from, taking this program serious. But we are here to help, That goes back to the conversation we had, helping people outside of this program, But we can't help everybody. It's just how hungry do they, how bad do they want it? How hungry are they for this program? And I think overall, just to kind of keep the recruiting going and try to get veterans that actually want to compete and want to do it, I think we have to do a better recruiting process with the future programs. I think that sadly, a lot of the faces that we got familiar with and a lot of them that we like personally, but if they can't be here when we tell them to be here, I think that we might have to cut ways. And I've always made the offer in the past, just because you're not part of this program doesn't mean that you can't have a gym membership here and still lift with us. That's going to show me that you still want to be part of this. But if you can't show up 3 days a week, 3 hours a week, or even give me a heads up, I don't want you.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It just boils down to, I mean, what does it take to really want it? Like,
Well, I'm gonna kind of take a side shoot to come back. So, for the past 20 years, I've been in tech, and I pretty much chose my path in tech because I grew up very poor, and I felt, how can I build the best life for myself? I'm pretty good at this. Why don't I go down this path? I even did that in the Marines and then in the civilian sector. Along the way, I've been asked a lot, like mentorship. And so, like, now I have kind of like a basic test. I'll always help. Always.
Right.
But I have there's a cost associated with it, and it's never money. It's you have to show me you're going to do something. So like what he's saying, getting your gym membership. What I do now is if somebody asks me for career advice, I'll listen to them, and then I'll give them something to accomplish. When they show me that they can accomplish it, it's always something that is achievable but difficult. If they do that, that's when I take them to the next step.
Right.
Very few people have actually done that. People always want how to get to the next step. They just don't want to work for it, right? So I have currently 2 mentees that I've been mentoring for like 10 years. And honestly, they've gone from, one was a bounty hunter and one was an IT help desk. And one is now a high-level manager, and the other one is just starting his real career as an analyst in threat detection.
Nice.
So to me, it's just like, that's kind of like what I see. It's just people have to like, you have to kind of have that own internal accountability, but we as leaders have to also kind of give them that test. And if they don't do it, if they fail that test, cut them.
What when you decided to join?
Yeah.
What made you want to like really be a part of it? Like, what was the mindset for you?
Honestly, it's just like, I'll give you an example. It's like, this gym is like, I like this gym, but it's expensive. I'm not gonna lie to you. And like at the time, I was broke, like broke. I was still paying for like, you know, I was paying for 2 different houses. I wasn't doing great financially. I had made huge business investments, and because I was not in a really good state of mind, I was in severe debt, like millions. So it was terrible.
It just registered. You said millions.
Yeah, it was terrible. Like it's because I like to go all in, right? Well, anyway, I was trying to figure out how do I was making decisions. I'm like, I need to be better financially, but I need to be better physically, but I need to like weigh this. So like, I was like, maybe I'll just do a $10 membership. Maybe I'll just run at the park, you know? But then when I found out about this program, I'm like, oh man, I get like, this is an awesome gym. You know, they got like cool equipment, whatever, but I'm not going to spend $50 on this. You know, I can barely put diesel. So, to me, knowing like at that point in my life, I was like, you know, I have no excuse. This is on me. That's what pushed me, right? It's just like, I don't have to pay for this to get in. Like, if like I've given like for me, I've kind of been heartbroken because like I've seen veterans in the same position, like where they're like they had like they couldn't afford it or what have you, or they couldn't even give a ride. I've given rides to some of these guys, but they don't show up, and I'm like, bro, you could have taken the bus, you could have walked, you know, but they don't do it. So it's for me, I guess like I can only speak to me is. At that point in my life, the investment in me is what pushed me. It's just like, I can't fail people that have invested in me.
Right.
You see where I'm coming from?
And you've done a good job at you know, taking charge of that, and you've come through, you know. Like I said, you were in a bad spot financially, and then this gym was available, this program was available, right? And then it gives you kind of a sense of accomplishment, because not only are you doing better now, you know, in your personal life with stuff, you were also doing the gym stuff at the same time, you know? So it kind of gave you like that work ethic of, if I can push myself, or if I can do something at American Iron Gym that I've never done before, why not push myself in my personal life? And look how much you have accomplished in the short amount of time that I've known you.
Yeah.
You know, from where you were
Actually,
then.
yeah, that's true.
To
That's
now,
a lot.
right? And it's because you took it may have been this program that kind of jump started it, but you know, you've been, you know, in the right direction now ever since then.
Well, so I think it wasn't directly this, but it was a combination for me.
Yeah.
I kind of was in a really bad place mentally where I just kind of like had given up on certain things. I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I started going down a real deep rabbit hole. I was drinking heavily. I stopped investing in myself, etc. But I had started making decisions where it was like, I have to take accountability of my own life. So I started pushing forward. And then it wasn't even when people like this program invested in me, it was more like I started seeing other people that I could help. And that kind of reinvigorated me too. Like, Like now, like I'm trying to, like I do a lot more stuff in the community. I try to create these large events that are free to the public because I'm like, it's my turn to be that leader. It's my turn. How many people have invested in me that I've never seen? It's my turn to do my part, right? And so that's what this program kind of indirectly helped me
It was
get me
almost
there.
like a catalyst.
It was
Right.
100% a catalyst. It was like for me also, like I had to choose it was a couple years ago. I don't even know the exact date because honestly it's far enough away now. It was right around this time I think I started this program. I decided I needed alcohol was a bad component of my life, so I removed it. So I haven't drank since then. So it's yeah, I'm very fortunate of it.
Yeah.
So a big part was basically investing in yourself.
It was
Going,
100%. Yeah.
I mean, you do have like the all-in mentality,
yeah.
Yeah.
but I think that plays a huge role.
For sure.
I mean, tackling something foreign like lifting, powerlifting. You had no background of that.
None, no, like legitimately.
So being able or being willing, I should say, to like put yourself in that situation. It's like you're already in an uncomfortable situation. Why not add something else that's uncomfortable but that can benefit you?
Oh, I'm telling you, my poor eye. Good timing.
Crying.
I'm crying.
Does that make sense though?
Oh,
Yeah, 100%.
honestly, I feel that like now I guess we can like talk about like moving forward what the program's going to be like, right? Like I'm very excited to like be able to help in any possible way. And some of the things don't even involve the actual program. Like I feel that it's not just for veterans too. It's just like the general, how can I be of support to this community in general, right? I will always be there for the veterans team.
Yeah.
But now I'm more like, how can I invest? Like, yes, last night we had an event called Dia de los Muertos, and I was asked to DJ. It doesn't pay, but it's something I'm investing in my own community, right, and in my own culture. And so for me, it's like it's supporting my brothers and sisters in the veteran community was a catalyst for me to start investing in the larger community.
I see. I mean, you've definitely made massive strides since.
I'm very fortunate of this program. Honestly, it really came at a good time.
Yeah. That's what it's here for, The stories like you, Jerry, there's Kaylee, Kenya, this is what we want. We want veterans to come and then step out of that comfort zone, and then, the excitement that we saw with Kaylee when we lied to her about her,
Oh,
her
yeah.
PR.
I forgot about
really?
that.
Yeah, you saw her. She jumped off the ground. She got like a foot of air, and she was like, we were like, yeah, that was
I
40.
remember
We were
that.
like, that was 402.
Yeah,
And
she
was
thought
doing
it was
3-something.
under 400.
Yeah.
And I
That
just
was
Yeah.
crazy.
then I leaned over. I was like, no, it was 4.
Yeah, and I knew, and so we got a little chuckle out of it. But like I said, I'm a dad, so you get like the like that a girl, like a champ, and a punch her in the arm, and but you're proud of them too at the same time. So there's a lot of fulfillment that comes for yeah, it's a headache sometimes for 16 weeks us doing this stuff, and we did have the issues we talked about earlier. But then at the end of it, to see them compete, yeah, you feel like proud parents. It's to the point where I'm like, go see your other dad when I'm doing something with someone, and then Brandon's over there. I'm like, we can go see your other dad because it's just kind of funny. And yeah, I get a lot of fulfillment to doing this and helping people out. And like you said, now what Brandon said too with the catalyst, now you're like, okay, when I do this stuff at the gym, now let me give back to the community. And so you're doing other stuff too. And so, it's just kind of, it builds good habits for us as veterans, especially a lot of us that get out the service and we lose our ways to kind of, get back and kind of feel normal. I joined this program because I was sitting there like, I'm tired of all my injuries. I'm tired of bending down at the waist and trying to tie my shoe and everything's popping and cracking and out of breath tying my shoes and stuff. And
Nah, I already do that now.
I used to be able to run 12 miles without breaking a sweat. And then, a couple years passed and similar situation, I got out and alcohol was delicious and I don't drink at all. But, you fall into this bad mindset and stuff. And this program gave me my life back. It gave me a purpose. And then, my purpose is to help my community and help my community of veterans. And, I'm also fortunate enough to have a decent job at the VA where I can, help people out in other aspects outside of here. But like, yeah, this program's been fantastic for me. And as long as I in this area, as long as Tammy gives me a platform to keep doing what I'm doing, and we have, I was seeing the coaches like Brandon, I'm gonna keep doing this shit. And like I said, I just want to get people that want to change and want to be better and take this for what it is and then grow off of it.
You know, it's interesting because like even when people come in and they're like apprehensive, they still, after a little while, you can see where the good habits start to form.
Right.
And so maybe like, you know, even if they weren't entirely sure at first, it starts to grow and you start to build those good habits and you start to apply that to the rest of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, cramp. I've drinking very little water. That's terrible.
We offered you water.
Yeah.
No, I went over there. No, it's just I've been on my feet like for days now, and
There's a toilet like that way.
look how little I am.
I like how, you stood up, but it
Did it look like a difference?
to be fair, it's a tall desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just this very small man.
That's why your squat's so good.
I know. Honestly,
I'm
for
jealous.
I'm very like I when I think about how small I am, and I'm like, those are nice numbers. I'm good. Yeah. And then I'm like, but I want 500.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
You start to, I mean, that's why we have so many returners, honestly.
You get hungry.
You get hungry.
Yeah.
Exactly. You start wanting more. And like, especially once that first meet's done.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For me, it was like, I think the biggest goal for me was 2 plates on bench because that was like, you know, like the barrier to entry to manhood, right? It took me a while to get there. Like legitimately took me a while.
But then once you got there,
Yeah. And now it's like, I don't bench as much anymore, but it's just like, oh yeah.
I still remember when you hit 2 plates the first time.
I'm telling you, dude, that was crazy.
And how hard you went after it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
I do. I remember that. That was wild.
Just all the changes we had to make.
I know. I'm still trash at it.
Nah.
Well, I mean, even if I want like 315 now, I mean, it'll never be like that, you know, that 2 plates. Or even when I hit 4 plates on squat, that one was huge.
When'd you hit that?
That
The
was,
second time?
I think it was second
The second
session.
time. Yeah.
Second session. Because deads, I still struggle
That would have
with.
been Legions of 2023, I think, is when you hit
It was right before, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was wild. But I mean, so we have other stuff coming up for the veterans program. Like, tell us about some of the the next event that we're going to be preparing for.
So I have to get the information again. I got an email to me, but I've been so busy. The deadlifts before Christmas, you know, usually we send, you know, we do a couple veteran teams to compete in that. And I know some proceeds of that program do go to help us out, which is amazing. And I believe that's probably early December, right?
Yeah, it's coming up
So
quick.
I'm probably
I can't
gonna-
remember the exact date.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you tomorrow. That way I can send something out to everybody. And then usually what I do is I try to put 2 to 3 veteran teams to do that for the event. You just deadlift for an hour and then, you know, whatever
it's
you're.
terrible.
Oh yeah, well,
My
It
hands
is
are
terrible.
burnt.
well, as much as you guys were going like 50, then giving it to the next person, you guys were insane.
Yeah, because they were trying to do it brute force.
We did it
no
wrong.
planning.
We did it wrong.
Yeah.
That's why we sucked.
That was terrible.
You guys
And then the
still lifted a lot.
CrossFitters deadlifting.
I mean,
Yeah,
but it's also like that's when Mark got rhabdo.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like, honestly, it's a crazy event.
yeah. But
it was terrible. Like, I mean, I think, like, looking back at it now, like, I was in terrible, terrible pain after that. Just
No, it was
like-
awful.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a good time, though.
Yeah,
It is a good time.
we'll make it happen again. We'll get a couple of teams, but other than that, we're gonna start probably the second week of January 2025. We're gonna start. I don't even know what team we're on, like Juliet or something.
Was it?
We were just in a hotel.
In India,
India. Yeah, we're just in India, so yeah, maybe in Juliet. But
It's
it is
Juliet.
Juliet. I
Yeah.
had to do my ABC.
It is Juliet. I did too. I was counting the whole thing.
You know what's funny is for years I was told I'm the smartest dumb guy they know, and
Yeah,
it's true.
makes
I'm
sense.
like A B C.
I could see that.
but we're probably gonna. I want to get new lifters in. Like I said, recruiting is hard, so hopefully, you know, we can get some exposure and get some more people. But I want to stay around 12 lifters. I don't want it to be overwhelmingly, because even at Legion, you and I were like, we would go do one person. Oh shit, the next person's up. Let's go get them. And so it just, you know, so
Yeah, it
we
gets to 'em.
we
Well,
just gotta.
I also didn't expect so many people to stick around.
Yeah, true.
We did have a good.
Yeah, we had 13.
turnout. Yeah, it was a good turnout.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It does help though, the returners,
Yeah.
because everyone helps each other, and then usually they're pretty good about.
I want fresh faces though.
Yeah,
I want hungry people.
It's always nice.
I'm already hungry.
Yeah, we know you. But there are going to be the set, what I usually call the set 5 of people where I'm like, well, we want you back not only because of the effort that you put into this program, but we have seen an increase of the first time you competed, and every time you compete, you're PR. Those are the people that we want, especially the ones that are very young and can make a career out of this too. So, like I said, we'll do our research and we'll do our interviews, and some people that applied may not make it, but I want hungry individuals. I want people that, are that want to be part of this and want to grow with the gym, and also after the program's done, give your time back to the gym, help out where you can, help a non-veteran spot, help put some weights away, grab a mop, do whatever to give back to this gym, because they've given so much to us as a community that, I feel like it's only fair to keep on doing what we're doing.
I mean, we appreciate every little thing that is done to help us, whether it's spotting, loading, cleaning, whatever it is. It's like greatly appreciated.
Yeah,
and I mean, too, you get free membership
for sure.
It's pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
It is.
It's good. No, it's just like I'm telling you. At that point in my life, I was like, I could just go run. Maybe this lifting thing ain't for me because I ain't spending no $50.
Yeah.
So it worked right out.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for 2025, and we'll see how that goes. And I'll put the word out for the vets that just competed about this, deadlift before Christmas event, and I'll be part of it again.
We should have another event, probably springtime, usually.
Oh, the April event is that what you're talking about?
And then there's also
In Vegas.
yes, that's what I was just about to say. It'll be the first year of the military first responder nationals.
Yeah. We talked about that at Legions.
I'll be there.
Yeah, Jerry already signed up, so
Jerry
he's good.
signed up.
I'm going to sign up, so we'll see. I'll be in the 40 plus, so old
Masters.
man. Masters one.
I had another guy, Brian, that competed.
Yeah, the Marine dude. Yeah,
he
he's
signed
cool.
up for nationals there too.
You know what? The Masters one is highly competitive too, man.
Figure it out.
Jeez, I've looked at those numbers. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
you're 40.
The goal is to make it to like Masters 3 and 4.
Is that by age?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's every 10 years.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
You got to outlive everybody.
No, because I'm almost in Masters one, and I was like, all right, yeah, maybe I'll finally get on the board. Sir, these dudes are heavier. Like, dang.
I got 10
Yeah.
more years.
Yeah, we got I think like we're 250 days out from the Vegas event, something like that. I had a counter. Me and Jerry were keeping track of it, and then I blew my back out again. And Jerry's like, "Guess you're sidelined for a little bit," and I was like, "Doesn't mean I'm going to stop."
But I mean, that is something that I think all the vets should kind of think about.
Yeah,
Because that just occurred to me too. Like, yeah, that's the first time we'll be doing that.
but in Vegas, so you got to remember, if they can't come to the gym on Saturdays, are they going to go get a hotel room? Are they going to make it to Vegas?
To be fair,
how hungry are they to want it?
exactly.
So
I mean, I'm not going to tell somebody who doesn't want it to go do it.
right.
But
So.
can you?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna make her. Her and Kaylee. I want to see there. So we'll work with them. I actually want to get them back in the gym with us. Something we can talk about after this, just to kind of get them so they don't stop their improvements. Because once a team ends, you rarely see, who do you see? Like me, Jerry, a couple people that are still kind of working out. Everyone else just kind of goes,
They take their summer break.
I need to sleep in on Saturday and wake up at 2 p.m. So, we want people that want to still be part of it, or this guy. But, we'll figure it out. I think it's a good opportunity for veterans to come out of their comfort zone, and why not do it at Vegas at such a cool ass event.
I mean, especially because next year we'll have like a spring event.
Yeah.
And then you get your first one out of the way. Now you can go do
Boom.
national event.
Right.
I think I'll be there, but I'll be in a different capacity there.
Yeah, either way
Supporting.
though. Hey, you rock the mic at Legions, man. So that, like I said, you're giving back to the gym.
Oh,
in
yeah, I
another
became an
aspect.
MC
So
for
Yeah.
Legions.
oh,
The
hey,
evolution is
that-
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You walked around the crowd with the microphone and stuff, man. So hey, kudos to you for doing that. So that's, I said, that's giving back to the gym in a different capacity than just being
I
a
told
lifter.
Tammy, I'll send you the bill. Awesome. All right. No, man, I do appreciate, honestly, this program I think has been I think a lot of, a lot of programs or a lot of people are kind of like, let me rephrase this. I'm very thankful for what everybody's done for us here.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
for me, it came in a pivotal moment in my life where I needed to prepare myself for something better or bigger. And I'm in a much better place. And this was an important component for me.
For sure.
So thank you guys, Brandon,
Yep.
Ray. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad I get to work with you
Yeah,
guys.
for sure.
Always nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. No
Appreciate you
problem, man.
guys.
For sure.
Hopefully I don't get another cramp.
Well, stand up really quick. I want to catch you on camera.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Look,
He actually lost height.
you know what? I think I literally grew 1 inch. I'm short.
All right. Thanks.
All right.